How to Make a Maker Event with
Tiffany Lucy.
and Mark Natanagara. The first Jersey Shore Makerfest took more than 10 months of perspiration, inspiration, and some serious cooperation. We'd never done an event of this kind or this magnitude before, and we weren't too sure what it would look like in the end. Naivete has its advantages because it kept our minds open. That doesn't mean we didn't establish a vision and see it through, but it did mean we placed a lot of faith in our participants, and they in us. In this slideshow, we'll describe how we did it and give you some ideas on how you can too.
We've divided up the process into 6 easy parts. Okay, maybe not so easy, but it's your event. We offer these as areas to be aware of. I'll describe each as you simultaneously modify it to fit your own plan. We also know you can probably figure out how to pause this and read any slides with details, so we won't do that for you.
For some organizations, the mission statement may be ever present and drive everything they do. For others, perhaps most, it's empty language that has no bearing on day-to-day operations or even strategic planning. For us, establishing a vision and goals first was the key move. For every decision we made, we went back to it. Instead of reading it to you verbatim, we've highlighted key words that came back to us again and again: community, creativity, hands-on. These defined how we promoted the event, recruited sponsors and makers, and even bought materials. If your vision is to make money, you'll choose one kind of participant. If you want to keep it to just your staff, that's a whole different set of decisions. It's possible your vision will change as you go. But we're pretty thick-headed, and ours was front and center on a dedicated website we created, and it stayed there unchanged from start to finish.
The description that expanded our vision also helps participants and attendees get an idea of what this would be about. Remember, most people have never been to a maker event and don't even know what a maker is. Some of us even disagree on that definition. What's yours? We've attended dozens of maker events, from some that are little more than arts and crafts shows to events resembling more vaudeville than anything else.
Goals make your vision happen, and ours gave us concrete ideas of what we wanted to include and not include, again with key words like innovation, global, and authentic experiences.
You'll need to decide, either at the start or as you start realizing the scope of your event, who you want as collaborators. You can be control freaks like we were, but that has its limitations. Or you can find like-minded folks with whom your vision resonates. Start by tapping your own organization, personal networks, and current partners, spreading the word out like spider webs. These are people you know and trust, and colleagues and friends of those you trust. We would have been dead at the starting line if our superintendent hadn't understood the vision, promoted it, and pushed us on. Likewise, for a very open-minded Board of Education, our idea of partners expanded from whom we knew to whom we wanted to work with, but never had the chance. A key motivator at the Department of Education and like-minded makers at Rutgers University were our earliest collaborators. Take advantage of social media and promote the event at every conference, meeting, and online chat you engage in, and see who bites. Eventually, word of mouth spreads, and if you have a good contact platform like a website that you can send everyone to, people will start calling you. After a while, we slowed down active recruitment, and momentum sent people to us.
Once we had a better sense of what this event would be, we immediately created a draft scale floor plan of our space. We used the Toms River School's Pine Belt Arena, which fit a large central makerspace, 60 10x10 booths, a stage and chairs for 200 audience members, and 4 double-booth classroom-like learning spaces. We originally included an outdoor patio and ball field to use for more dangerous stuff like drones and a blacksmith, but always cognizant of what the weather might do, we had an adjacent gym on standby. We ended up with activities in all 3 locations. The space also started informing what we would have. For example, what should go on a stage? We opted to schedule 20-minute ed talks. Like the predecessor they rhyme with, we saw these as conceptual, inspirational, motivational, and mind-changing, rather than lecturing, informational, or marketing. The floor plan and scale of your event is also the beginning of your budgeting process. Based on your scope and mission, you'll have to decide if your event will be supported by your own organization, donation-based, or sponsored. We went with sponsors, which allowed us to make the event free for both makers, participants, and attendees. A budget of $10,000 meant we could handle about 4,000 attendees and provide lots of free stuff. though we really only expected half that many.
We grabbed a Google Maps screenshot to share with visitors, and also to consider peripheral factors like parking, security, and fire safety. Other issues include how to focus people to a main entrance and funnel them to outdoor activities, where to greet press, and how to handle ticketing, if any.
Originally, we pulled clip art off the web to draft logo ideas, like the first one shown here, and eventually we evolved them into original designs. Your logo is how people relate to you on paper, on the web, up close on business cards, and from a distance on posters spread throughout your town. If you aren't blessed with design talent, don't steal our graphics. Tap into a local art school's class or see if a printer will be an in-kind sponsor. They do your logo, you put them on your website, t-shirts, etc.
Even your color scheme can prompt folks to recognize you. Everything had the same feel and content in different sizes, from social media to step stake signs. Marketing was about 8% of our $10,000 budget. We think we can do it for less next time because now we're known.
If you're familiar with Wiggins and McTighe's Understanding by Design, you'll understand how this event began with the end in mind, and our timeline worked backwards from October. We knew roughly what had to be accomplished, and we laid it out in a plan with monthly goals. You won't hit every one on the mark, and some will go faster than you expect. Take time to breathe and visit other events to continually inspire you.
Hindsight is 2020. So we also learned
Sometimes you gotta let things go. If they don't affect your vision, don't sweat it. Trust your people. We did, and the whole vibe made it work.
there has to be some degree of chaos in making. The unplanned, spontaneous, and accidental may be what you'll remember most from your event. We kept tight reins up to the first hour, and then we saw how well things were going. We let some expand, like taking the drones outside. Planning well allows you to be spontaneous.
Your excitement is probably what drove this thing to happen anyway. If that's not your thing, find someone like my partner Tiffany, who lives it.
Delegate. We weren't very good at that, but there's always next year.
Didn't you design your maker event around what you wanted to experience? Then experience it. Enjoy the process, the people, and the serendipitous. The Jersey Shore Makerfest matched our vision, but still exceeded our expectations. Here's the final tally.
Before and after the event, we were asked to share and have spoken at over a dozen conferences, workshops, and meetings, and helped many other organizations plan their events by simply sharing what we did. This slide deck is meant to help expand our reach and consolidate our in-person blathering. So consider yourself lucky that you got your hands on this rather than sitting with us face to face for hours on end.
We wish you the best of luck on your event.
We hope you'll invite us and look forward to you participating in Jersey Shore Makerfest 2016 on October 15th.
Check the next few slides for additional resources, including our contacts.
Please feel free to reach out to us for questions and ideas.
Bye.